This is my first time sitting with someone who I've always admired from afar. You know what I mean? Like I've spoken to a lot of people.
Yes.
In the last 2 years. Some people, everybody knows. Some people don't, you know. But as far as the people that I've sit with, I've just known them recently. So I haven't admired them for a long time.
Yes.
As much as have admired your work and dedication to the city of Columbus. So I'm excited to sit with you.
Well, and let me say thank you for this opportunity to sit with you.
Yeah.
I've watched you on stage performing your Michael Jackson.
I know.
And always knew that you were going to do something great.
Right.
And didn't know that this would be it. And I'm just excited to have the opportunity to sit and chat with you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Isaiah. I did used to do Michael Jackson. I like to think I'm retired now.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can still do
sure
a little
probably.
Michael Jackson.
Well,
Yes.
once you live that kind of lifestyle.
Yes,
it don't leave your head.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And your feet.
Exactly. It's like memory now.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
So, Mr. Isaiah, or would you rather be called Isaiah?
Just call me Isaiah.
Yeah, because we're friends.
Isaiah. Yes, that's right.
Isaiah, you have such a history. I remember in school, I believe the Ledger Enquirer had done a piece on you.
Yes.
And it was your wife.
Yes.
And it was
my sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her last name? Green?
Pat Hughley Green.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was like a front page.
Yes.
And I said, wow, look at these black folks who have done some good things in Columbus. But first of all, I didn't even know that you had such a rich history of, or maybe you had come from some backgrounds that could have been, for some people, tragic.
Absolutely.
But for you and your family, it kind of was not tragic because it kind of is the reason you have so much willpower and so much faith and so much, I would even say grace for some things. Yeah. Tell me for the first official question, without the headlines, without any titles, who is Isaiah Hughley?
Well, first of all, let me just say I give God the praise and the glory. Would not be here but for God.
Yeah.
But Isaiah Hughley, first, is a child of God.
Sure.
And started out from very humble beginnings. And some of it was in the news story that you noted. Mm-hmm. I was born down a dirt road in Crawford, Alabama.
Come on, Crawford.
Down in a dirt road called The Lane, there off Highway 80. And a 3-room shack, no indoor facilities. Mm-hmm. We didn't have running water. We didn't have indoor toilet.
How many was just you and your sister? Or was
there, I've got 3 other siblings, so 4 of us.
Okay.
And so, we were very poor people. Mother, father with only a 6th grade education. Father worked in the mill. Father was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. My mother worked cleaning houses, $5 a day, $25 a week.
$5 a day?
$5 a day.
My word.
And so, and then she realized because of domestic violence that it was time for her to leave, and we moved to a public housing in Phoenix City, Fred Douglass Homes, public housing, and we thought we were like the Jeffersons. We had moved on up.
Yeah, come on.
Because we had indoor toilet, we had indoor running water instead of going to the well, getting
heating
water.
Air. Come on.
We had heating and
Come
air.
On.
And no, we did not have heating and air. We just had the heater.
Okay,
and,
so you didn't have no air.
You didn't have any air. Your air was a fan that you put in the window in the summertime.
Okay.
And so, but we were on welfare because my mother only earned $25 a week, and she's worked all her life, but just did not earn enough to take care of 4 kids. Because,
what's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Isaiah Hughley,
come on.
and now Wilburn, because later in life she did get married again.
Oh, I love that.
And so from humble beginnings, we moved to Fred Douglass, then we moved to Farley Homes in Columbus, owned the Baker Village in Columbus, and when I graduated high school, I lived at 96E Baker Village, and so
you guys moved up though.
Yeah, we if you call it that, because when I graduated high school, 96E Baker Village, I was still going to the store with food stamps, and so we were still on welfare.
But you went from the dirt road to
absolutely.
So it was progressive.
Absolutely.
So your Miss Rosea was definitely trying to make a good living for her children. Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, and I want to be clear that my mom didn't drink, didn't smoke. She did a little bit of cussing.
Oh, come on!
But we were in church every Sunday, Sunday school, vacation Bible school, you name it.
Right.
And so she was super churched, and she insisted her kids won't do some of the things that others were doing because of our circumstance, and because of that. In all of my life, I've never been in jail. She's never had to come and get me out of jail.
Well, praise the Lord.
Yes,
we can definitely share that in common, because I've never been in jail either.
Yes.
I don't know if have you met my mom before?
I believe I have.
Yeah, because my mom was a short lady, but she is not like soft at any means.
She doesn't play.
So
She doesn't play.
So boy, that's good to hear that you come from such humble beginnings. What I wonder is that what moment out of all these life experiences you've had, because now you are running for mayor, and we'll get into that a little bit later, and you've also sat on the city council board for a long time.
City manager.
So you have done a lot of things with your life, coming from the dirt road to now where you are today. But I wonder what moment in your life shaped the leader that you are today. Was there a particular moment that shaped the leader that you are?
Well, when you say shape the leader, I want to acknowledge a guy named Ray Griffin that walked into a dry cleaners on Buena Vista Road where I was, and it was my plan to go into the Army because I didn't know anyone in my family on my mother's side, father's side, who had finished high school or gone to college at that point. And so that's how I got to college. And when I went to college and graduated and went to graduate school, I had to do an internship in the governor's office of human development in Jackson, Mississippi. And there was this guy that his name was Fred Wise.
Fred Wise.
He was Caucasian, but I was not accustomed to wearing suits to work as I was an intern, and I was not accustomed, obviously, to being in a business environment.
Okay.
And so I watched Fred Wise, and he had a pinstripe suit on, and his shoes were shined, and he was a gentleman.
Come on.
And so
Fred was classy.
I went to Fred's department store. You may remember Fred's, that dollar store. And I bought some shirts and some ties, and I went to Kmart, and I bought me a $49 pinstripe suit.
$49.
And I would wear that suit, but change the shirt and the tie to make it look different.
Okay.
I went out and got my shoes shined.
Okay.
And then I would notice that when a woman walked into the room, Fred would stand up. I'm wondering, why in the hell is he standing up? And so he would greet the woman, and then we'd go to elevator. We're going to go to a meeting. And the elevator door opened. I would just get on the elevator. And Fred would wait until the women first. And the same thing, the door opens. I get off the elevator, and Fred wait and let the women off first, and he'd hold the door.
Come on, classy, just a classy gentleman.
And then I had not been to formal dinners, because of my background. We didn't go to restaurants.
Sure.
And so I didn't know which utensil to use first, and I would watch Fred, and a woman would get up to excuse herself, to do whatever he'd stand up. And
push a chair in too, do all those things too?
He'd stand up because they want to go and powder their nose or whatever they're going to do.
Come on, Fred.
And they come back and Fred stand up. And so I started doing what Fred was doing.
Okay.
And so it kind of shaped me and molded me. And Fred would shake your hand and give you a firm hand grip as he would shake your hand, and he would look you in the eye. And so I was watching him and those things, and it prepared me for the business setting, the business environment, and going to formal dinners and doing things like that. And so I would always, identify someone who were doing positive things
Right.
that I think made a difference.
Right.
And that's how I started to grow and learn and develop. And so when you talk about leader, that's the kind of thing I spent my time
Sounds
doing.
like you became such a student of the people around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Fred today?
I don't know Fred. I left Jackson, Mississippi, moved back to Columbus.
Okay.
And we did not stay in touch.
Okay.
And so I don't know where Fred is today.
Yeah, I probably had a couple of Freds in my life, and I think that I think it's so important when you talk about being a leader. I think it's so important that you have an idea of what a good leader is. Yeah. I think a lot of young people, they want to do things, they want to lead, own businesses and be leaders and do all this, make a lot of money, but they don't know anybody personally that's doing what they want to do or being what they want to be. Does that make sense? So it kind of like, it kind of like you can't be a good leader without having seen one first.
Exactly. It makes all the sense in the world because as I became deputy city manager in Columbus, Carmen Caveza hired me, former commanding general at Fort Benning. He led the 1996 Olympics.
Wow.
He became city manager, and he offered me the job as deputy city manager.
And what year was that?
Day-to-day operation, 1998.
Okay.
And so the thing that, even with Carmen Caveza, I mean, what a leader he was.
Yeah.
And but Carmen Caveza could have a box in his hand and books in another hand, and you'd be going to walking with him to exit a door, and he insisted on opening the door for you.
That's what I'm saying.
My hands are empty instead of, and so that was Carmen Caveza, and I kind of
you kind of pick like certain things from each person you've learned from.
Yeah. I mean, he was a servant leader. He was a visionary leader. He communicated, and he was just kind.
Sure.
But he was about business.
Right.
And so I was able, as I transitioned from deputy city manager to city manager, carry those same leadership traits and skills into my being city manager here in Columbus.
Yeah. Well, speaking of you being city manager, the headlines have said what they said, and I hope we can be as honest and clear, so that you can have your own narrative about what was said. But what went wrong? What happened?
Well,
in your own opinion, what do you think happened as to why you were let go or fired? And whatever the headline said.
That's a fair question. That's a good question. And what happened is politics, personal, and putting that politics over progress. Had nothing to do with performance. Because here's the performance record. We were in 2024 the 12th best run city in all of America. And for those listening out there, Google Wallet Hub, WALLETT, HUB, best run cities in America. You will find that in 2024, Columbus, Georgia was the 12th best run city in all of America. The only other city on that list was Atlanta, Georgia. No other Georgia city on that list. And Atlanta was like number 125. And then in 2025, Columbus, Georgia was the 20th best run city in all of America. And the only other Georgia city on that list was Atlanta, and I think they were like number 115. And then check the record. Go on the Columbus GA website, go to the finance department, look at our audits. We, this year and last year, 2024 and 2025, we had clean, unmodified audit with no misstatements and zero findings. And at the city council meeting, if you go and pull the city council meeting where the external auditor, Malden and Jenkins, presented the audit findings, Malden and Jenkins, let me just pause to say,
Sure.
is one of the top 100 accounting firms, in all of America.
Sure.
So they don't play.
Mm-hmm.
They audit 770 city, county, state governments across this nation annually. 770.
So they don't mess around.
They don't mess around. Of that 770, Deputy City Manager Lisa Goodwin says, Mr. Malden and Jenkins, of the 770, how many of that 770 had clean, unmodified audits?
Right.
Out of the 770, 180, he said. And then she asked, of the 180, how many of them have had clean, unmodified audits, zero findings and no misstatements for 35 consecutive years? He says 25. And guess what? Columbus is one of the 25. And so, the audits tell the story. And I'm not going to stop there when I talk about politics over progress versus performance. Well, it's not about performance. It's about politics over progress. So there's a thing called bond ratings. That's like your credit score, your credit rating.
Right.
Columbus, Georgia, during my tenure, has a AA2 and a AA plus bond rating, credit rating.
Okay.
That's a strong financial profile, very strong. That you can Google it and determine it's a high quality credit rating.
Right.
And so AA2, AA plus with Standard & Poor's and Moody. And don't stop there. Let's look at the pension fund. We are a self-funded pension fund. We have over $600 million in our pension fund. That's money that we use to pay all of the Columbus, Georgia retirees that are still living.
So this whole argument that you have taken money or you have been mishandled some things, this whole idea, why was that even mentioned? Why was that even?
It was politics over progress. Let me just say this. The internal auditor did an audit. And the internal auditor came and stood at council at the podium.
Yeah.
And that internal auditor reported to them that there was $45 million missing. That auditor had never checked a bank statement. That auditor had never checked a deposit slip when she came forward and said that. And so hear me well, that auditor lied.
Okay.
And set hair on fire and got people all over this community in alarm and scared.
Yeah.
And so you brought in external
and integrity too. I mean, it's kind of when you get
integrity.
Kind of get
and I'd love to see what the CPA standards, their board, have to say about and I'm saying it publicly because I want people to know. And I challenge that person to come back and stand at that podium and say $45 million was missing. I bet you won't get them. You won't see that they will do that.
So are you saying that this person, you won't say any names, was hired or maybe was planned to lie about this audit that she said, or this money that said it was missing?
I don't know what's behind that scene and encourage her to come forward and say $45 million is missing. But here's the fact. When the auditors, the lawyers out of Atlanta and the city spent a total of $1.5 million plus trying to discredit Isaiah Hughley and members of his team. And so it was politics or progress. So what they did find is that during the pandemic that started in 2020, and they went back to 2016 leading up to the pandemic through 2023, 2024, that law firm from Atlanta and the accounting firm from Atlanta determined that $2.5 million in accounts receivable, money that's collectible but had not been collected, where people did not pay for their business license. which means if you watched me on TV, I used, and I'll use it because I've used it before publicly, Chuck E. Cheese. They were several years in arrears on their business license.
Yeah.
And we had to hire external lawyers to go to court to force them to pay their business license.
Yeah.
And they finally did. Chuck E. Cheese, thank you. But my point is $2.5 million in business license that had not been paid,
Sure.
that was collectible and had gone uncollected during 2016 through 2023,
Right.
2024, those years. And so we had boots on the ground people out there still. If you own a hot dog stand and you know you need a business license, we should not have to come and chase you down
To get a business license.
to get you to get a bit. We shouldn't have to go chase and keep knocking on the door of Chuck E. Cheese to get you to pay business license.
Right.
And so we've worked on those account receivables, but no $45 million missing. No,
So you saying it's all a lie?
that $45 million. It's not a lie that $2.5 million accounts receivable that should be collected,
Right.
could be collected, was not collectible. And some companies, larger companies, would probably write it off as bad debt.
Right.
It's like, you owe a company goes an entire year, whether it's a bank and
Sure.
they got loans out there and people won't pay.
Sure.
They send it to a collection agency, you still don't pay. They end up writing it off as bad debt.
Sure.
We didn't write off any bad debt. We wanted to collect every dime.
Right.
And so the only factual information about that, no money stolen, all $45 million, that accounting firm, the law firm, said they did the test. All $45 million is in the bank. But there's $2.5 million that was collectible, not collected.
So
it was politics
over
over progress in our city.
So what are you saying? What are you saying to the people who believe this lie? What are you saying right now to the people?
Check the facts.
Check the facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let people tell you things.
Right.
I learned that early in my career. People used to want to quote the federal regulations to me when I was in public transit.
Sure.
And don't quote me the regulations. Give me the regulations and let me read for myself.
Do you think it had anything to do with you being black?
Well, I think it had to do with the notion that, first of all, it went back to when I supported Freddie Blackman when he was police chief and he was going through what he was going through. I think it had to do with the fact that the word was out that I was going to run for mayor.
Got it.
And you had this faction that it formed at city council, and that faction, they vote in lockstep, and they're still doing it today. But that faction wanted to discredit my name. They wanted to bring me down to keep me from running for mayor.
Yeah.
And so when they couldn't find the stuff on me, they went after members of my team, and I can tell you that they failed there as well. They accused them, and they've been vindicated, and we are where we are today.
Sure. Why should voters trust you with the mayor's seat?
Well, they should trust me based on my performance, and I've started to name a list
them, yeah.
the thing, and I didn't get to all. You look at our reserve fund. The Georgia, the Government Finance Officers Association says you should have no less than 60 days. Our administrative policy says no less than 90 days. When I was there, we had as much as 110 days. So 20 years as city manager, I've established a performance record. Judge me based on my performance record. And if you want to credit me with anything that went bad, credit me with all the things that went
and then get
well.
some facts too.
And over my 20 years, under my leadership, building a team and working with my team over the last 20 years, you look back if you've been in Columbus, we transformed Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
We transformed Columbus, Georgia to flashing lights on Broadway during weekdays and weekends after 5 o'clock, to a uptown that need 3-4 parking garages,
Right.
and you can't find a parking space, and more than 42 restaurants in uptown. We spent $15 million streetscape in Broadway from 9th Street to 15th Street. We widened the median and narrowed the lanes. And if you go down Uptown right now, you cannot find a parking space. You know, when the old Columbus Square Mall was there, the 42 acres where the City Services Center is today and where the library and the school district building, you know, there was 42 acres where the grass was growing through the asphalt. We transformed Midtown to what it is today. And I'm excited about what we've been able to do there. So judge me based on our work. During my tenure as city manager, you know, we're talking about taking the dams out and creating a 2.5 mile whitewater rafting where $25 million was spent to do that. We're talking about during my tenure, we took care of combined sewer overflow, and below that 22-mile Riverwalk is a combined sewer overflow project, the beautiful Riverwalk. We created 60 miles of connected walking, biking, jogging trails, and the list goes on. Judge me by what we've done. If you're going to credit me with anything negative, I've got a whole list of projects that you need to credit me with for what we've done well. Right now, we have $1.2 billion in capital roads and infrastructure that is in progress under my leadership as city manager. And so why should you elect me as mayor? I've got proven leadership. As city manager, I was the chief operating officer. I was the implementer of the mayor and council's vision. And as your mayor, I'm going to be that person who builds that vision, but I'm able to lead that vision to take Columbus to even higher heights than we did as city manager. And we are going to be able to take Columbus to a place where we remain relative and we remain competitive. And if Governor Kemp can tout being the best state in the nation to do business, under my leadership as mayor, I'm going to tout being the best city in Georgia to do business.
Okay.
And so I'm ready to lead as mayor.
Okay.
Experience matters, and I'm ready to do it day one.
Okay, so I think, here's what I think, Isaiah. I do think people have a different perception of who you are because of the news. People just allow articles and things to like discern who a person is, and that's not, you know. Personally, I don't think you're a thief. Okay, I personally don't think that. I don't think that you are bad for the city of Columbus.
Let me just interrupt to say, you know, if I was a thief, I should be in jail.
And I also think this, and people can say what they want to say about this, but I think if you were a thief and you were taking money, I don't think it would have been found out. It would have been known now. I think years would have gone by and somebody would have said something. So to think that you have dedicated your life to the city of Columbus, and then for some people, not all, to place this narrative about you, I think, and without even hearing your side or without even asking you what happened, I think that's kind of dirty a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Again,
how do you handle that? Like, how do you handle dedicating your life to Columbus, and then all of a sudden this article comes out that you've taken this money, or that this money has been mishandled in your care? How do you handle that as a person? Set away the side of you being a servant leader, but how do you handle that just as a man?
Well,
of God, because you are a man of God.
Yeah, and so, you know, I stay prayed up.
Sure.
And I understand. I've been around in politics for a long time, and I understand politics. And but you know, I watch people all over this country, people whether you're in Congress or wherever, and people who steal go to jail. You know, and I've not ever been charged with a crime because there is no crime.
Right.
And so when people, the naysayers, put that out there,
Yeah, because that's our whole sign. This whole man made a sign about you. That's ridiculous. Come on now.
And so it's part of the agenda. And the person with the sign does not realize it, and I don't comment on it, but when that sign is out, it helps me raise money. And that's why I've raised more money than all of the other candidates in this race combined.
Yeah, I guess this did.
And so
like
when
that,
people see that, they start sending me money. And so that person can keep doing what they're doing through the election day.
But spiritually, Isaiah, how do you handle it? You say stay prayed up, but go into deeper context. Because if I dedicated my life again to a city, and for one article, which I've hadn't heard any other bad articles about you since I've been living.
Yeah.
But this one article comes out, and it's kind of like some people who have supported you or even call yourself friends have kind of turned their back.
Yeah.
How do you handle that spiritually? I know you said prayed up, but go in a little bit of better context.
Well, I'm just saying, I tell people that, I pray and the Lord will say, be still, or, I take it to the Lord in prayer. And I do understand, because if you're a city manager, you're battle tested, and you've been, because, people blame the city manager for everything.
Sure.
And over my 20 years, I'm the longest serving city manager in the history of Columbus, Georgia.
Right.
And city managers, the life of a city manager is typically 3 to 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm so shocked. It's such a shock.
And I was here for 20 years.
And they voted you in. So it's not like somebody, you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's such a shock.
And so I understand the politics and I trust God. And that's all I can tell you.
Were you hurt? Were you hurt by the decision and all that, or were you?
Well, obviously, yeah. It hurts you to know that you've given your life to public service in your hometown, in your city.
Yeah.
For a total of 41 years and 20 years as a leader, and then you watch a council members, 2 of them never elected. Think about, you have a person sitting on council who got on public agenda one Tuesday and said, if I was on city council, I'd fire Isaiah. And that was the same day that another city council member sent in a letter to read a resignation. And after that person spoke on public agenda saying, I would fire Isaiah, an hour and a half later, they voted that person on city council without a process. And another person on city council was voted on without an election and has been sitting there this June will be 2 years.
Are you saying that it's corrupt?
I'm saying to you that it's broken and it needs to be fixed. And I'll say to you, we've seen chaos, division, and distraction before.
Yeah.
When there were some people, we've seen it at the school board. And then when there was a change in people on the school board, you've not seen that distraction since.
Right.
And this election is going to be a defining moment for Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity to elect 3 and possibly 4 new city councilors and a new mayor. And it's going to be a defining moment for us. If we get a new mayor and 4 new councilors, you're going to see us move from a city council where there is little to no civility, and there's little to no dignity given to department heads and city employees when they stand at that podium.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just thought about this. Thinking of if you do win and become mayor, what is the first thing you are thinking about doing other than cleaning house, or not cleaning house, but other than making some arrangements? What do you feel like that you being mayor will change things because of your ideas? And
well, first of all, I believe that when I become mayor and we get a new elected council, city council, and not one that's appointed, then my day one, I want to start the healing process of the city. My goal is to unite the city. I want to put what's behind us, and I'm ready to move the city forward.
Sure.
all for one for all,
Yeah.
with one goal, one future, one Columbus. I
Yeah.
want to spend my 4 years in office uniting this city. I've built relationships over the last 20 years, and I'm ready to move forward and put the chaos. I'm sick and tired of the chaos.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm sick and
I'm
tired
just,
of the distraction
I'm
and the
thinking as a
division.
young person, Isaiah, like I'm in my 20s still and jumping into 30s in a couple 2 years or so. But I'm thinking as a young person, like I worry about the division
We're
in the
better than
city.
Columbus, Georgia is better than this.
Mm.
And I intend to bring out the best. And that's why I want to spend a lot of my time uniting the city.
Yeah.
We need to put all of that chaos behind us,
Mm-hmm.
the division, distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to come together. We need to rise up Columbus, and we need to work together to be the city that we know we have been in the past and we
Yeah.
can be in the future. That Atlanta and everybody else recognize us as speaking with one voice,
Yeah.
and being a city that has its act together.
Yeah.
And I want to lead the way in uniting the city.
Yeah. Well, I believe I stand with you in that. And anybody who runs for anything and wants to unity, I stand with you, with them in that. How have you grown as a leader since your time since this whole thing has broken out with the articles and all? Have you grown more, or have you kind of shaped your way as a leader, or what's different about your leadership style now?
Yeah, I've grown, and I think I'm shaping my way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm again, I want to look forward and not back.
Sure.
I prayed about all of this, and I turned the other cheek.
So you're not angry at anybody?
No, I'm not angry. Look, actually, when it all said and done,
Mm-hmm.
I was wronged, and many people share that with me, business leaders
Yeah.
and others in the community.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but I am ready to move forward.
Yeah.
And because I love this city, and
if
I'm
these
proud.
people who have accused you of things, if they would want to talk, which I'm not saying that they will, but if they would want to talk and reconcile things, would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And when you say accused, they don't have any facts.
Yeah,
I operate
of
on
course,
facts.
yeah.
Those are the handful of naysayers out there,
right.
the anti-Hughley people.
No, it definitely looks like something was
yeah.
set up. It definitely looks like that. From a young person who's not really involved in politics, it looks like something was set up for sure.
It was politics, and what they meant for bad for me turned out for good.
Sure.
Because God fixed it.
Sure.
And so we are ready to move forward. We are ready to build a city that's
with
relative, that's competitive, united.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to lead the way in doing that.
I believe it. What do you wish you knew? What do you wish you knew then that you know now?
Well, I can't say that I knew that politics is dirty because, over the years, I've talked to other city managers across the state, and when they were sharing their problems with me, where they were there for 3 years and got fired, or contract did not get renewed, and they were being mistreated by a mayor and council, I was able to sit at the table and say, that's not us in Columbus. And then with the last cycle of elections and the last cycle of handpicking and appointing people to carry an agenda forward with the faction that was already existed, we became what I heard from others. And I know that we're better than that, and I'm ready to get back on track and move our city forward.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me, let's say this. Let's say that you are an elderly man, because you're still very, very, fairly young. Let's say that you're in your 90s or whatever, and your life is coming to an end. Not that 90s is the end, and you have passed, and your funeral has happened.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope your legacy would have been at the very end of your life, and people who are attending? What are you hoping that they're thinking? or they are that you've done with your life?
Well, I want my legacy to be that from a dirt road in Crawford, Alabama, he was blessed, and God delivered him to do some things in his city that transformed his city. And at the end of his career, as he ran and became mayor of Columbus, Georgia, I want my legacy to be that he was the one person that was needed to unite Columbus, Georgia. And he united Columbus, Georgia. And that's why we're the city that we are today as we celebrate Isaiah Hughley's life. And he was a role model for his children, his grandchildren. He has an Isaiah Hughley Jr. and an Isaiah Hughley III.
Come on.
And, he was a role model for them. And I want them to go on and continue the great work that the father, the grandfather did.
Yeah.
But my legacy, he united. He transformed Columbus, Georgia
Sure.
with his team, and he united Columbus, Georgia by bringing public and private, all of us together.
Yeah.
And with his one goal, one future, one Columbus, momentum, he was able to unite Columbus, Georgia.
You seem so hopeful about the future.
I am hopeful.
Where did you get that from? How were you able to maintain that kind of faith in such a time that we're in today?
Well, I think it has to do with my spending my life in public service here. When you put 41 years into a city government, and 20 of those years you led the way as the chief operating officer, you love your city and you're proud of your city and the accomplishments that your city has made. And so I think it all centers around, what we've been able to do together in Columbus, Georgia. I didn't just do it, but I built a team, and we were able to deliver. And no one, absolutely no one, can take that away from me or my team. And so it's brighter days ahead. And I tell people in many of my talks, on up the road, not far in the distance, I can see the light shining in the night. It's penetrating life's heavy fog.
Come on.
It's Jesus, and Jesus conquers all.
Come on.
And I think that's where I am. That's where we are today.
Come on. You seem to be a spiritual man.
Yes.
How did you how were you able to maintain such a spiritual strong life in this time?
Well, it started as a child with my mama when I walked up.
That's right. You said she was churchy.
Yeah, she was over churched, and so and that's where it comes from.
Well, I think that I wouldn't
say over church. I'll say super church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that your younger self is waiting in this room, and there's a chair next to him, an empty chair next to him, as a matter of fact, and he's waiting on your now self, this age, this time that you're in, your now self, to enter this room and give him some advice. So I'm talking about the younger version when the dirt road, and he's waiting for you to enter the room. What are you saying to that little Isaiah when you walk in that room and sit with him?
I would say seek God, discover him, and make him a power in your life. And if you trust God, he'll see you through.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, I think that we've cleared everything. I think that you've said enough, unless you feel like you haven't said anything. And just to clear the record, you are not upset at anybody. No. You are not. You are not trying to run for mayor so you can get vengeance on anybody. Because that's what people probably are thinking that.
Yeah.
You are not trying to. You are not trying to talk against anybody. What you really want is what I hear you saying. You can correct me if you're wrong. is that you just want to make Columbus better for everybody, not for a certain group of people, but for everybody.
You're right in all of the above. I want to get rid of the chaos. I want to get rid of the distraction. I want to get rid of the divide. I want to unite this city. I want Columbus to be the city that others look to say there's a city that we need to model ourselves after.
Yeah.
And so I just want the best for Columbus.
Yeah.
So we're moving forward.
And even if you don't win, I think that you will still find something to do. I think that you would still do something in the benefit of Columbus. Would you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I love this city.
Yeah.
And we're going to win.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yes.
I believe it. Mr. Isaiah, it was so good talking to you. I can't wait to see what you do in the future, and I hope that I am able to cheer on with you and be such a light to whatever you're doing. And I respect you. I hold set aside the titles. I respect you as a man. Without the titles, I just respect you as a man.
Well, thank you. And I certainly appreciate that. And I truly believe that we have brighter days ahead in Columbus, Georgia. And I truly believe that everything is moving by the power of God.
Thank you, Mr. Isaiah.
Thank you, sir.
Brought to you by MSW Productions.